Hey, what's going on? It's Z-Rex. No noise. A little bit different video here. It's from my laptop, and I was just playing around trying to get the settings for when I do travel. And that's the cool news. The not so cool news is I'm not doing it because I'm traveling. I did it because I rolled the crap out of my ankle with my son today, and it hurts like a mofo, and I hope I didn't break it. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow, see how I feel, but I can barely walk on it, and I want to keep it elevated so it can get the best chance to heal. But Jesus, anyway. So this is gonna be a little bit different video. Also, sorry the quality won't be as good, and I know the audio is probably not as good either from my little test runs here. But like I said, it is literally from my laptop, and my leg is propped up right now as I'm doing this, so it's a little hey, I'm trying to just what's it? Adapt. There you go. Can't even think of the word. Anyway, let's make this video pretty short for obvious reasons. Check it out. Oh yeah, getting sell off. Uh-oh. What's gonna happen? It's going to zero. No, but in all seriousness though, this is not a very good close right here. This last candle that just happened. Engulfing this previous one, taking out the lows. This is getting a little heavy, and we didn't even make a higher high on this little attempt. So it's kind of in a real funky range. And given it's Saturday, what time is it now? It's already late, like 8:30 or something. Central Standard, somewhere around there. And I guess it's kind of symmetrical triangle, but this doesn't really look good. And the daily close today was pretty crappy. I mean, this isn't sexy in any shape or form. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we don't have anything sexy going on right now. What about the 7 minute? The 7 minutes actually about to get bearish here if it starts to get any more weakness below about 4,900. I mean, it is the weekend, so it's dull. I wouldn't be surprised if we just kind of BS our way through this little crappy, boring range until tomorrow evening when CME futures open up. But there is one thing I did want to touch on this structure is we are bearish here, dominant on the DMI on the daily, which means a lot. I do put a lot of weight on that on the daily DMI, especially in this posturing. And it's below the mama, it's below the 55, it's below everything. It's below the horizontal, which is where about every point of resistance is right now, above 55, right around 55,000. And we got two dailies now, one that wicked and one that did open and close below this lower or this higher low at one point, but now we are making lower lows on a daily. So that isn't super sexy either. And if we look back in history on these dumps, a lot of times DMI just gets rejected. The bears get rejected real quick from DMI if they even get a chance to get above there. And definitely the bulls, you probably can't see this, so let me zoom in real quick. And definitely the bulls don't get super, super weak like they kind of are now. All right, I'm going to finish this thought and I'm going to add one more thing to it, and then we're going to go to Ethereum. So as you can see in this big bull run, it shows the same. And so now on the weekly, we haven't even touched the 21 yet. It does kind of seem like Bitcoin wants to come down here and test this zone. You can see too that the weekly has actually been underneath the exponentials and this like trend line that's actually drawn for a daily. That's why it looks like that. But and below that trend line, so the bears have been definitely creeping their way in. The thing is, though, I would take that 40,000s if we get there, the low mid 40,000s, as an opportunity zone for myself. Anything sub really like 38-ish thousand, give or take maybe like 2 grand, is going to start to look really ugly if we go there. That's like worst case scenario. Okay, so you'll kind of get that point. I think I've hammered on that enough. And I think the weekly. Oh, I didn't actually add this. Hold on. Let's go back to the last run up, and you can see all these healthy touches into the 21 EMA on a weekly. That is very regular, not just for Bitcoin. Lots of tradables do that. And let's just go back. I could show you the other ones too. I'm just trying to keep the video a little shorter. We've probably looked at that a few times, but anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did come into that zone because it's not even that much further down from here either. And that would probably freak out a lot of people if we dropped another 10, 15%. But still, if that happens overall in the long time frames, high time frames, it would still look very good. Okay, so that's just the point I wanted to make for the bearish side. And that engages if we lose 48,000 for me, I would start to pretty much immediately, I mean, within probably that day or two, test the that range down there. And anyway, now for the kind of the interesting bullish side of this. This is very aggressive. So if we flip this chart over, Alt I, a lot of times, and since it's been a bull market, we've talked about the aggression and slope of this angle right here. Sorry, and the screen on my laptop's just a little, the resolution's a little different, so it's kind of, I'm just working with it. Just bear with me. And my mouse is kind of on the bed. It's kind of funky, but I'm making it work. So you can see this daily is pretty aggressive slope, right, to the upside, which we would consider bullish usually because everything's been super bullish lately. This is an inverted chart though. And so a lot of times we talk about when this happens, you usually get some fast moves to the other side to test it. Could that happen right here? Totally is in the cards, especially if we don't break down by Sunday night. If we kind of just hover around Sunday night and wait for the 8:30 a.m. Open for the regular markets in the U.S. session, I think there's a pretty good probability that it bounces off of this zone. I don't think it would have the strength to just pass it and get bullish immediately on the daily because we do have a lot of work to do for that, and that's likely going to take at least another week or so. Yes, I know, TA, it's a daily. It doesn't work like that. It's not like, oh, we just know now. I want all the information now. Don't be one of those guys that draws the pattern way before it happens. Like, oh my God, in crypto, it's crazy. I'm sidetracking like a mofo right here. But people will be like, oh, look, it's an inverted head and shoulders. You can see it. That's the start of the left shoulder, and it's going to do that perfect. So many people do that. Don't pre-draw patterns, not just head and shoulders. That's just a real popular one in crypto. Wait for that thing to complete and then confirm it and then break out or down. And if you want to know anything about that stuff, I'm not going to go into detail on that, but the patternsite.com is a good place for some real basics and at least to, get your willy wet a little bit and start it up. Anyway, back to this lovely TA session. Let's see, 3 hour are they? Let's see, dominance on. This is something also I'm really waiting to see is the 3 hour DMI has been bearish for a long time, since about 61,000, and the bulls have not been able to even get into the like weak zone or the neutral zone. They're in the weak zone, flirting with the forgotten zone. And so they can't even get up here in the neutral zone, while the bears have been very dominant for a while. So I want to see this kind of continue. The bears maybe start making like lower highs on this, like struggling to get back above 26-ish, and have the bulls start creeping in here. If we start seeing that over the next few, I guess, day or so before the week, I do think that this could turn into a pretty large bounce to the upside, and I would not be surprised to see a move up to the mid 50,000s on this by any means. That could totally be in the cards. I'm definitely medium term bearish though, and kind of neutral. I'm just sitting mostly on cash right now, my crypto stuff. I did nibble the other day, which I talked about on the other videos. Just really small, not even like maybe about 20% of my crypto stuff. So really on the sidelines, just waiting to see and how the market digests that, because I do think that's the safest way to play this. That's how I'm going to be doing it anyway. But as long as we're holding this 48,000-ish area, we're good to go. And it's just kind of chilling. Anything below that immediate, like I said, about 43, and possibly even as low as like 38, give or take 1,000. That is the very, very critical zone. I'm going to be real careful around there. Probably big, big bounces off that region, but that's some pretty good damage to the chart. And man, we'll need a lot more time if that happens. All right, beat that horse to death, Mama Bear. I'm sorry. Ethereum, what you doing? See, Ethereum is weirdly looking good here, but don't forget it did that last time and it was a gigantic bull trap. So we do need to be cautious and don't be like, hey, is Mama Bear not the mama anymore? Is Ethereum taking it over? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Most likely not. We need a lot more time and way more than one bull market cycle to make that decision. Mama reigns supreme right now, and that's going to take years for that to change. So, right now, this is not bullish though. This isn't really that good looking. It's like barely bullish, I should say. I'm sorry. It's like barely bullish. Kind of hanging on to the 200. We keep tapping it though. Tap, 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 tap. Generally, you do break when you keep testing lines like this. You don't want to just kind of hang out on them forever. They get weaker and weaker over time. You only can skip on it so many times, like a rock on a pond, like if you're skipping a rock. So Bulls better get their ass in gear coming this week. And it is tech earnings week, so maybe that'll give a little boost to how amazing crypto is or whatever, who knows. But anyway, Bulls definitely need to step it in pretty fast, or I do think we're going to roll over on this market. And this thing is just ranging still between like 21.50-ish to, like right under 24. So until it gets out of that, it's really neutral. But its overall daily does look much better than Bitcoin's. The only problem is if Bitcoin starts really rolling over, it will likely take Ethereum down with it and it will just have farther to fall. So do keep that in mind at this juncture. And so let's go look actually at the ETH BTC chart because that will help us kind of put that into perspective. Here's the Bitstamp. Okay, so on the ETH BTC chart, obviously it is breaking out right now, but it does have a very nice posturing here. Looks like it's making some new recent highs. Yes, it is. In this big saucer pattern. So that is interesting, actually, on the Bitcoin pair. Holding this 3.8 million-ish, like upper 3 million sats. That's pretty interesting for Ethereum. Maybe this is just the pullback for the summer slow sideways choppy bullshit action before the run up at the end of the year for the final blow off top, which crypto loves to do in December for some reason. But this actually kind of is adding that we might be getting some vicious rallies ahead here. This is interesting. Interesting chart on Ethereum versus Bitcoin, I should say specifically. But yeah, man, holding that upper 3 million sat area, that's very bullish for altcoins. All right, what else do we want to look at? We're gonna keep it shorter. Look, I'm even off over here because my real estate on this is way smaller. Litecoin. Wonder how that comes out actually when it's recorded. I'd be curious. I guess it'll probably just automatically fit to the other screens. I don't know. I did not look at that when I was doing my tests. Anyway, Litecoin, it's above its mama average, right on the 55. So also looking a little bit better than Mama Bears, funny enough. Right in the middle of the long-term moving averages, and same shit, different day. As long as it's between these, we can't do anything. We just kind of have to wait. If you got some balls of steel, maybe you could long on top of these highs. That's not the worst idea. I mean, this is a W pattern that did reach a target move and Fibonacci extensions. And so maybe this is just the pullback to retest and confirm this area as a solid resistance, now support. So that could very much be happening. And what would confirm that for me is any closures on dailies above 245, 250-ish. We start getting that and just riding back up on this mama here, that kind of fits the narrative with because that's still going to take a while. It could even just take all the way into mid-May or something and just kind of be BS down here for a month or so, which would also kind of fit the narrative more from what I was saying with what Ethereum versus Bitcoin is potentially showing us. All right. So Litecoin, not too bad. What actually is bad on Litecoin, anything back below these wicks, and most charts are going to look like this too, because we're not going to go through every one right now. But if you're fanning through charts on the medium time frames, low time frames, like sub-daily, then yeah, they're going to be pretty much postured like this. And if we start taking out any of those previous lows, you have to watch out. Let's see, ETC. Yeah, kind of actually looking way better than other ones. But again, these can have farther to fall, that's for sure. And right now, it does have a very clear trend line that it is establishing currently. Almost a channel, really. You can see the bottom end here. So this, yeah, man, this is actually okay as long as it's holding about 26-ish. Again, you can see same patterns to the left. We start taking out those lows. Bad news bears. Let's see, same with Rips, Mr. Ripple. It is in an H pattern. This is harder to short into, so that's kind of a nice thing to see. See if it can hold about $1-ish, and man, maybe the party does just get back started. And this also does have a trend line that is very clearly formed around there. XLM, same kind of shit. I mean, all these are going to be pretty much the same. So we're kind of just going to leave it at that, I think, and just be done with this video. After we go over Doge, of course, we got to do Doge. And Monero, I want to do Monero too. Doge actually bouncing like the Lord here. What is this? Man, I mean, to the heavens, Doge goes. Now, it is coming up to major resistance at that 30-cent level. If we get back over 30 cents, though, and break the mama on the 3-hour, I mean, the daily on Doge already looks okay. This candle right here is beast mode, sexy, hammer. And the fact we got a little follow through already, I mean, this is crazy on Doge, guys. Very, very wild. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, nothing really else to talk about. Major at 30 cents, and it looks fine. What wouldn't look fine is that 22 cents, man. I'm just sticking with that 22 cents area. We did go below it here. Stalled, though, immediately. Just below it, too. And, I mean, this is a big buy from 16 up to here, Came up 25% off the low, and the body's closed right around 20, little over 20.5 cents. So, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. A little parched. But yeah, so as long as it's holding that 22 cent area, this actually looks pretty good. Dogecoin defying and probably pissing off some of the maxis hardcore, which is always kind of funny. Let's see. XMR. Yeah, and also look at XMR, dude, putting in that amazing hammer candle above previous closures. I mean, out of that box too. I mean, this is, let's take this off so we can look at this a little bit better. Look at this response from bulls on Monero. I mean, this is probably one of the better looking chart. Look, already above its mama, and it's reset its oscillators. I mean, that is freaking powerful, guys, on Monero. So if this is very, very interesting. I haven't looked at charts all day today, but I'm just stumbling on this. I'm glad that I stumbled onto Monero and wanted to look at that. I just remember it bouncing really strong yesterday off those lows and was like, oh, snap. And look at it now. It's coming up to, obviously, we're at resistance here in the low 400s, around 410 or so. But the daily has a lot of time left. Anything can happen. We could obviously roll over here, and that would be very ugly if it does fail from this pump. This needs follow through and without much pause between. It's okay if you have these little kind of tiny candles and like one maybe here in the next few, but this needs to really keep this momentum up because failing to break this with this momentum would be very bearish. But right now, this does look really good. And man, anything back above this 360th level, and really if it could hold 370-ish, would be super sexy. You can also use these EMAs now. They're going to be starting to aggressively move to the upside as Monero just rips face on this market. It actually got very bullish back on the crack time frames yesterday, it looks like, or early this morning, actually, at 2 a.m. Or was that yesterday? I don't know, whatever. Early recently. Yeah, and again, sorry, bear with me a little bit from my laptop couch desk here. Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say, man. Monero, great looking job there. Weekly closes. Let's see how the weekly. Look at this weekly, y'all. Look at this. What? What? Dude, for this candle to look crappy, tomorrow's close on Monero. So in 22 hours, Monero's gonna have to close back below 350. Can that happen? Yeah, for sure. But man, you wouldn't even know that any of that big sell-off and people freaked out anywhere looking at this chart. Monero, mucho power. All right, guys. Well, I'm not even going to wrap it up because I already hammered it pretty hard with each coin. So you can just rewind it if you forgot. You know the drill. All right, guys. I'm going to pamper my damn ankle. This really sucks. I hate being stuck and trapped. We can't walk around. But it's all good. Shit happens. And we'll hopefully do it from the regular command center tomorrow. If not, I'll just do another one of these statics. And I'm going to go watch this game, or I'm sorry, fight, the UFC fight tonight. Load that up on the TV and just chill. Hope y'all have an awesome weekend. It's been Z Rex, no noise. Holla at your boy. Peace.